Hey guys, so I just want to say you have to devote your life to Jesus Christ, okay? Because if you don't, you're not going to get respect from people. People are not going to respect you if you're not living like Jesus Christ, okay? Now, we've all went through life not living like Jesus Christ at some point in our life, okay? And then we found out, oh, not living like Jesus Christ is not the lifestyle that I want to live, okay? But living like Jesus Christ is more everlasting. It's more something that helps me move forward. It's more something that helps me get to the stage that I need to be at. And it's more reputable and it's more responsibility, but it's also more clarity and more lasting fulfillment to live like Jesus Christ. That's why in life, many people who are not living like Jesus Christ are doing basically pleasure activities. Okay, they're doing basically sex, drugs, for example, and also they're not doing things like Jesus Christ does it. Okay, so which means they're not working. Okay, they're not working 9 to 5 job. They're on the benefits of the government, and basically because they're on the benefits of the government, they're either watching porn, drinking coffee, doing drugs, for example, or whatever it is. They're doing drugs. Okay, and they're on allowance, and because they're on allowance and doing drugs and watching porn or going and having sex with women and stuff like that, you have to realize that these people are eventually going to succumb to things in life that is going to prevent them from, not prevent them, but it's going to be consequences. Okay, there's going to be consequences for not living like Jesus Christ. Okay, for not living like Jesus Christ, there's going to be some consequences for that. So in life, you have to have a purpose. You have to be doing something with your life. You have to be every single day growing yourself and getting to the best stage of your life. Okay, so when you're doing that, okay, when you're living like Jesus Christ, you're going to have a much better life. Okay, you're going to have a much better quality life. Okay, but those people who are not living like Jesus Christ, they're the ones who are going to be drug addicts. They're the ones who are going to drink alcohol every weekend. And they're the ones who are going to lose their jobs, who are going to go downhill in life because they're not living like Jesus Christ. And now I want to say, for example, it's sad, but this is the real thing, okay? That there's only two paths in life. There's Jesus Christ path and there's a path that's not Jesus Christ. There's no other paths, and that's the sad thing about it, okay? That life is only made of two choices, either Jesus Christ or not Jesus Christ. You know, and you have to choose which path you want to go on, okay? Now, for a lot of my life, I lived like a person that was not going towards Jesus Christ, and I was living in moderation between Jesus Christ and not Jesus Christ, okay? So you have to realize that because of that, you know, you have to get to the stage where you pick either Jesus Christ lifestyle or not Jesus Christ lifestyle. Okay? And now if you don't do Jesus Christ lifestyle, then you're not going to be living like Jesus Christ, which means then you're going to go down the roads of sex and pleasure, and you're going to basically run in with the law, and the law is going to get you, and it's going to basically get you to do much worse in your life. Okay, because that's what living not like Jesus Christ does. Okay, so when you live like Jesus Christ, you'll do things legally, you'll do things the way you're meant to do it, and you'll do things where you want to grow yourself and get to the best stage of your life in your life and have a family for yourself or whatever it is that is on your mind. But for example, if you're single, for example, and you're 55 and you can't have kids or whatever it is, then it's because you didn't live like Jesus Christ in that moment in your life to get to that stage. But when you live like Jesus Christ, now listen, I'm saying that you might be that person. You might be a person who doesn't have kids, but maybe that's the chosen direction you chose. Okay. Now everyone chose a different direction. Everyone's choosing a different direction in life, but there's only two directions in life. It's either live like Jesus Christ or don't. Either live like Jesus Christ or don't live like Jesus Christ. There's no moderation. There's no moderation of living like Jesus Christ and not living like Jesus Christ. It's either you live like Jesus Christ or don't live like Jesus Christ. So the thing is that, you know, I see my life and my life's not perfect, okay? But I'm doing much better than before. Why? Because I'm living like Jesus Christ. I'm living more like Jesus Christ. And a lot of people don't have respect toward me because I didn't live like Jesus Christ. But also you have to realize that because they also did not live like Jesus Christ, you know, then do they deserve my respect if they're not respecting me? No, they don't deserve my respect either, because the thing is that they also led me toward a path that is not Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying? They did drugs with me or whatever it is, and they really, really put me down in life, okay? But I allowed it, okay? So the thing is that now I'm much better in my life. I'm much more walking the lone road, walking the Jesus Christ road in my life. And the thing is that, you know, it's a better life for me. You can see my skin, for example, how clear my skin is. Because I've been eating healthy. I've been eating and doing conscious things around Jesus Christ. And that's why I have a great life. Much better life now than before. Okay? So that's all I want to say for this video. I hope that you guys have enjoyed, and see you guys in the next video.